Hello, good day to everybody. So, our next topic for the IT 100, living in the IT era, is the internet. I think every one of us know the internet because we are using it in our everyday living or in our everyday activities or day-to-day activities, even in our online class or virtual class. We use the internet to access information um, through our browsers or yes, our browsers or programs we are using for this online class. So the internet. Okay, so what is the internet? So when we say internet class, it is a global network of billions of computers and electronic devices. So it is a connection or a global network or global connections of devices or of computers and electronic devices. So with the internet, it's possible to access almost any information. We can also communicate with anyone else in the world with the use of social media and other technologies or video conferencing tools um, and other platforms that we can use to communicate with one another anywhere in the world or anyone else in the world and do much more. So it began an academic research. The internet began as an academic research project in 1969 and became a global commercial network in the 1990s. Ano ko lang yan. So 1990s. Today, it is used by more than 2 billion people around the world. So where is the internet? So the last mile is the part of the internet that connects homes and small businesses to the internet. Currently, about 60% of the residential internet connections in the United States are provided by cable TV companies such as Comcast and Time Warner. While in the Philippines class, our provider or internet service provider are PLDT. We have also D2, we have Smart, we have um, Globe, and other uh, service providers. So data centers, we have here some terms here, definition of data center. So these are rooms full of servers that store user data and host online apps and content. Some are owned by large companies such as Google and Facebook, and other companies such as Comcast and Time Warner. So actually class in our school we have also data center. So it is pero konti lang yung naho-host pa lang niya na information system. So we have our own website. So our uh, yung server yung website natin na host sa yung na-host sa server natin dito sa school. So, we also considered it as data center. But in the um, most of the most popular companies that uses data centers or data warehouse, actually we can coin it as data warehouses. Google has data warehouses. We have also Facebook data warehouse. Actually, it's one of the data warehouses of the Facebook.com or Facebook is located in Oregon. Actually, meron na din sa Singapore, parang katatayo lang niya. And then sa yung Google naman dito sa Singapore, meron din sila doon. So, those are data warehouses. The backbone consists of long-distance networks, mostly on fiber optic cables. So, the most popular one that connects computers or devices is the fiber optics. Minsan, yung fiber optics mas maano pa nga siya, mas um, mas mabilis yung connection sa fiber optics that carry data between data centers and consumers. The backbone market is highly competitive. So it is the most expensive cable. So instead of coaxial cable or other cables, LAN cable, the most um, expensive ones are the fiber optic or fiber optics cables. So who created the internet? The internet began as ARPANET, or in that is in short, or the Academic Research Network, that was funded by the Military Advanced Research Project Agency, ARPA, now DARPA. So it is, or the ARPA network, or the Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, yung ARPANET. So ARPANET, it was first used for military purposes. So yun nga yung pinaka-purpose noon ng internet is for military purposes. So the project was led by Bob Taylor, an ARPA administrator, and the network was built by the consulting firm of Bolt, Beranek, and Newman. So it began operations in 1969. Well, in 1973, software engineers Vint Cerf and Bob Kahn began work on the next generation of networking standards for the ARPANET. So these standards, known as TCP, IP, or the Transfer Control Protocol / Internet Protocol, became the foundation of the modern Internet. ARPANET switched to using TCP/IP on January 1, 1983. So, medyo matagal na, 1983. So, during the 1980s, funding the internet shifted from the military to the National Science Foundation. So, it is now being used for scientists. The long-distance network that served as the internet's backbone from 1981 until 1994. So in 1994, the Clinton administration turned control over the internet backbone to the private sector. So it has been privately operated and funded ever since. Who runs the internet? No one runs the internet, class. So it is organized as the decentralized network of networks. So it is coined as internet is coined as the network of networks because it is the largest network. It connects because it connects devices globally or from the different areas or parts of the world. So it is called the network of networks. Thousands of companies, universities, governments, and other entities operate their own network and exchange traffic with each other based on voluntary internet or interconnection agreements. The shared technical standards that make the internet work are managed by an organization called the Internet Engineering Task Force. The IETF is an open organization. Anyone is free to attend meetings, propose new standards, and recommend changes to existing standards. So, meron task force ang internet. The Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, or ICANN, is sometimes described as being responsible for internet governance. As its name implies, ICANN is in charge of distributing domain names like vox.com and IP addresses. So, let's proceed. How does the internet work? So it's important to realize that the internet is a global network of physical cables, which can include copper, telephone wires, TV cables, and fiber optic cables. When you visit a website, your computer sends a request over these wires to a server. So meron siyang wires. Even though in its end, merong wireless na sinasabi natin or wireless or Wi-Fi or WiMAX. Wi-Fi is wireless. The meaning of Wi-Fi is wireless fidelity. So a server is where websites are stored, and it works a lot like your computer's hard drive. Once the request arrives, the server retrieves the website and sends the correct data back to your computer. So with the use of those cables, so the information or the data come from the server and then sends it to the wires or sends it to the users through the wires like TV cables or fiber optic cables, and sends the correct data back to your computer. So other things you can do on the internet. So you can use it for email. That's very obvious, right? It is one of the oldest and most universal ways to communicate and share information on the internet, and billions of people use it. But in institutions or in universities like us, in UNP class, we use email as the most official. When we Because when we use other social media networks, parang it seems like it is informal. So the most formal technology that we can use to send emails or to send mails, electronic mail, is an email or through Gmail or through Yahoo Mail. Pero wala na rin yata si Yahoo Mail. Nagka-issue yata yung Yahoo Mail sa security. So we are more to Gmail. Social media also allows people to connect in a variety of ways and build communities online. So there are so many SOCMEDs already. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have WhatsApp, we have um, TikTok, right? Those are social media. So they can build an online community. They can build an online community that its users can interact or allows people to interact or connect. So what about World Wide Web or WWW? What is the World Wide Web? The World Wide Web is a popular way to publish information on the internet. The web was created by Timothy Berners-Lee, or Tim. Minsan I call him as Tim Berners-Lee, or its complete name is Timothy Berners-Lee, a computer programmer at the European Scientific Research Organization, CERN, in 1991. So in the mid-1990s, companies such as Yahoo and Amazon.com began building profitable businesses based on the web. In the 2000s, full-featured web-based applications such as Yahoo Maps and Google Docs were created. And in 1994, Berners-Lee created the World Wide Web Consortium, or W3C, to be web's official standards organization. So he is still the W3C director and continues to oversee the development of web standards. So kung mapapansin nyo, class, when we key in um, um, when we access, the first thing that we type is www. So that's the World Wide Web. And the original one, let's talk about Web 1.0, Web 2.0, and Web 3.0. So Web 1.0 is the original incarnation of the internet as a place where most data was read only. The users cannot interact with the web. There is no hyperlink. So Web 1.0 is often described by experts as an internet where the most common kinds of activity are passive. And Web 2.0, as engineers, added things like JavaScript, applets. So meron na yung mga applets. You can communicate with the internet already. And modules to the web. Web 2.0 emerged, and Web 2.0 is the read or write web, or the functional web, where web fields and forms have allowed users to participate in transactions, upload resources, or post their own suggestions in an active conversation. So it is different from 1.0, wherein pag 1.0, it is read only. Web 2.0, we can already interact with the internet. So the Web 3.0, the the future internet, called the semantic web, where the internet data will have evolved relationship and mapping, will help automate a lot of what we now do on the internet manually. So the semantic web, proponents suggest, will be a web that is in many ways automated by linking individual virtual objects and websites together in seamless manner. So there is already an algorithm of the Web 3.0. It has